And he says, Rabbi, I know you are from the Lord. And he gives Jesus a reason. And he says, for there is nobody who can do what you're doing unless the Lord is with him. In other words, things were happening in the life of Jesus which Nicodemus was convinced that there is nobody who thinks like this can happen unless he is with the Lord. Things like this can only happen when somebody is walking with God. He was like a man who said, we have seen many people. They have done many things. But things like this, they don't just happen. Nobody can do things like this unless the Lord is with him. But my question is, if Jesus was like some of us, you know, sometimes things can happen in your life and you are not aware that things which are happening in your life, they are not just ordinary. While other people are looking from a distance watching your life and they are saying things like this in this person's life, they cannot just happen. This person has got the Lord on his side. You know, sometimes we get too much used to walking with God that it's other people who can see what is happening in our lives and are able to testify that God is with you, while we cannot testify that God is with us. One man said one time after COVID, he's a medical doctor, and he said, after being at the intensive care unit for quite some time, I felt appreciating oxygen. No, during the time when you're struggling with oxygen and you can't get oxygen, not because somebody is taking it away. No, something is just happening. Another person's nose that this nose is doing its job. Because you wonder, you wonder what is happening with yourself, because when you pull oxygen, it's not coming in. And he said, I learned to appreciate oxygen. And sometimes God does this. You know, when you are going through this, when you watch other people, you are able to appreciate them and say, yeah, if he's able to breathe like this, there should be God in his life. Especially when you are using all these machines for yourself to breathe. When you see another person breathing, easy. You know, people who are breathing, they don't even struggle. There is not even strength. You don't see them struggling at all. They just do it as if it's natural. It's just natural for them to breathe. But when you are struggling to get oxygen, you realize it is not automatic. It is by God's grace. So when people are at the hospital, when they hear about us outside, they say about us, those guys, it cannot be through their power. It could be through the power of God. We know that God is with you, because things that are happening with you, they do not just happen. There should be God's intervention. You know, there are some other people who grow on the use of the oxygen. And this person is he was telling me, he said, you know, I would breathe. After breathing, it's like my body, my nose has forgotten to breathe. But no, man, what's happened? No.
And I was supposed to have already breathed.
I was supposed to have done it again. But things are not happening. Then you begin to appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, that you can breathe without struggling. Somebody can look at you and say, I know the Lord is with you. Why? Because when I look at you, I can see. Things like this do not just happen. They happen when God is with a person. Baba, when God has given us grace, we have grown up. And we don't have any health challenge. You can eat everything. And when you check the targets how you appear, when you look at your peers, they've got issue here, issue there, and another painful side, and you are taking it for granted. It is because God's hand is upon you. God's hand is upon you. Nicodemus says, Jesus, we can see the Lord is with you. Why? Because whatever is happening in your life does not just happen to people. It happened when the people are with God. And this is to me, I need to look into my life and check areas where other people may be looking at you and be seeing God's hand upon you and be saying, you know, that some of the people you grew up with, you know, and Baba, others, you know, they ended up where they are. As I share with you, and you also look at yourself and wonder, but what has happened? Why we're just talking, why am I not in prison? And others that I walked with are in prison. When they are there, when they look at you, they say, this thing is not ordinary. The Lord should be with you. The Lord should be with you. Jesus, we can see you come from heaven because things that are happening to you, they don't just happen to an ordinary person. When the Lord is not with that person. Think about some who are married. You can take it for granted and say it's not important. But there are some who want to be married like you. But disparate as they may be, but they don't have a partner. And they can say when they look at you, I can see the Lord is with this person. I was talking with somebody, when was it, last week? So we're talking about this lady who was married three times, or was in this committed relationships 3 times. Actually, she went to an extent of giving. And maybe we need to run a workshop. So I was submitting some documents, marriage papers at home affairs last week. It's some other weddings. You know, I'm also having some other members of I'm their pastor, but you know, they are not here all the time. Private. So